Hello and welcome to episode 4, I believe, of the Roker Rapport TV. We've got a new guest. Yeah, 4th episode.
Does that mean I've wasted?
May the 4th be with you. As you can see, we have a new friend.
I was going to say, is that what you guessed?
Yeah.
New guest.
And the reason why this is we were looking for a Jack Rodwell swear jar.
Well, you've just swore.
Oh, no.
So you need to put some money in the swear jar.
Okay, well, this swear jar, whenever you say them names, the J and the R word, you have to put a coin in there. I don't know what, depends what coin I've got, is what goes in. I've got a penny. Ah, there we are, penny.
You never know. Depending on how long this goes on for, that could be the first ever. I mean,
that could be my transfer kit next season. I'll transfer it to the club.
Aye. Yeah. It'll be more than what we've got now. So
yeah. I'll put like I'll wire it over to Ellis.
I like it.
Good idea. So that's what it is. That is the swear jar and the Sunderland transfer kit.
What's he called again? Sorry, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I hope that doesn't offend
BB-8.
BB-8.
Yeah, he rolls. Right. He does this funny roll thing. Like.
Right. Okay.
He's like R2-D2. I realised.
Right. Okay. I think I've seen this before, and that top bit rolls.
Yeah. So this rolls, and then this stays sort of static on top.
Yeah, I've seen him before. Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's get going. You know, funny enough, you're not in that intro. We should have really done a new one.
Well, actually, earlier on today, I was thinking about maybe getting like a James's face, like printed out and stuck on my face, just for the start.
Fair.
But I mean, would that improve my looks? I don't know. Well,
he's wearing a hat because he's baller than me.
That's true. That is true. I just want to take it off now.
I was going to say, it's
not a secret anymore.
I will steal the hat. Right, so this episode, because Sunderland are doing so bad, and we went on the theme of relegation parties was week 1, Sunderland dissecting shit was week 2, last week, I can't even remember what it was called, but you know, same theme. We keep losing.
You can't really change it, can you? Like,
yeah, it's the same theme, we keep losing. So this week, because me and Niall have always went to games together, because we're siblings, if you didn't know that. Niall's the older one, I'm younger, although it may not look it. If he took his hat off though, it would.
It wouldn't.
Because we've always went to games together, even though there's some games here that Niall missed because he was hungover.
That's true.
We've shared a lot of
ones as well. I missed the best games when I wasn't there.
Exactly. So we sort of agreed. We were talking about earlier. I had these programs out in my room because I've got this ridiculous collection at home, stretching back all my dad's programs.
Probably the best part of 20 odd years, if not more so.
Yeah, for us collecting Sunderland ones, and then I mean I've stopped doing it now. I stopped doing it about 4 years ago, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth the money, and they're not even done by the club now. It's a third party. Anyway, that aside, we've picked out some really random games. There's some programs that I've got at home which I couldn't find, which we'll talk about as well. But for me, if we're gonna start on one, it will be this one, which is Spurs at home, 07-08. It was Michael Chopra.
Yeah, last kick of the game. Ross Wallace, brilliance on the wing, swung it in. And to be honest, I think that was like an out of body moment when that went in, because Tottenham was such at the time. Tottenham were, well, I mean they're good now, but
they were a fringe team, weren't they? Berbatov and Keane.
Yeah, but they spent a lot of money that summer. They bought Darren Bent. They bought Modric. Was he there that season?
He came the year after.
Right. No, actually he didn't. He came later on. He came after the
2010 World Cup. No, he didn't.
Did
he came after Euro 08.
Oh, did he? All right. Well, yeah. But yeah, that was, you know, we were expecting to lose that game, I think. And I think Dixon too had a great chance as well. He did. He had a great chance just before we actually scored. And I think in games like that, you think if you're going to do it, you have one chance. And thought that was it, and he missed. But then I'm glad he did now, because I mean, what a moment that was.
The thing is, people forget as well, our record, the 2 previous Premier League seasons we were abysmal. Like from record worst points twice. So that game was huge, because it kind of was a statement to the rest of the country that this time we're in business. That's certainly how I left the ground, thinking that we were going to be going for Europe, because you do as a 13-year-old who sees their team beat Tottenham 1-0. But also,
I think I did too.
We knew that season wasn't going to be the nightmare that when we were both at the Charlton game in 05-06, where we got beat 3-1. Charlton were down to 10.
Darren Bent's debut again.
Yeah. We were both at that game though, and it's funny, you think had maybe we won that game that year, what what would have been last season.
It was something a bit extra though with that one because Mick McCarthy hadn't really changed the team much. Coming to that Charlton game, Andy Gray had come in. I mean, he was one main striker.
Stead.
John Stead.
The
He was one main striker. But Andy Gray as well. I think Gray scored the penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But certainly there was more excitement towards this season. I mean, nobody thought we were going to be Tottenham on the opening day, but there was loads of excitement because Roy Keane come in and virtually barely lost a game when he came in.
I think that was, funny enough, that was Gareth Bale's debut, the Spurs game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just looking down the name, yeah. There's loads of random. Steve Malbronk obviously was there. Huddleston was there. He would have been about 17, 18 at the time. It's funny, look, Kevin Prince Boateng. Forgot he was at
Is that Ben Alec, their number one?
No, it wasn't the number one. He was there though. He went in the full-up transfer.
Paul Robinson was in nets for the goal, wasn't
he? Yeah. The next one to point out, we've got Blackburn. Martin O'Neill's first game. This is one of the ones Niall missed because he was hungover. Which, funny enough...
Deep regret.
Yeah, I mean, it was a half-1 kick-off on a Sunday, so...
Yeah, well, when excuses are...
Oh, you got stickers?
Ooh, G-Don 1.
Oh, you got some random stickers in there as well that I've never used.
Stefan Sessignon.
So, I suppose now your memories of this game will be off the telly.
Yeah, it was. We went 1-0 down.
Simon Vukovic.
Vukovic, yeah. Yeah, he did. Samba put the ball in for him. What was it? Samba took a shot, keeper saved it, Vukovic
yeah, he just put it in the own net. It was from I don't know, it was probably Pedersen who took a free kick.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, he was that free kick taker back then, wasn't it? And frustrating. Kind of, when that goal went in, it kind of reminds us of the feelings that we're getting now when everybody else scores past me, you know, like when we were starting right and then a stupid set piece or something. It's like, oh, what a horrible goal to concede.
Unbelievable. Like, unbelievable how it took us so long to get back in that game because we pummeled them. Absolutely pummeled them into the ground. I remember they had about 300 away fans in what was the South Stand away end. And I couldn't believe they were going to steal a win off her. It was Steve Keane. It was Steve Keane as well. And then Vaughan. What a goal.
Well, kind of that goal's strange as well because when I remember watching it at the time on the telly, it looked like he'd smashed it in from like not like as far out as what he is. It looked like he was, you know, like across goal. And he just smashed it with the net. But I didn't realise when you look back at it now, it was a worldie.
And then we got
second best.
I remember being at the ground. And normally for Sunderland, we do get a lot of stick for the crowd leaving, but it was 1-1, and oddly enough, people had stuck around. Normally, you would see people leaving. And Larson got the free kick right on the edge. Everyone looked at each other. And Larson had scored a few free kicks already that season. So we were sort of like... He scored against Stoke, I think. He scored a wonderful free kick. He scored one against Arsenal as well, away.
Yeah, he did. Well, not even just his free kicks. I mean, he was a fan favourite. I mean, that goal he scored against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That was one of the best goals I've seen that. Yeah, it was his debut. It was unbelievable.
So Larson gets his free kick and everyone in the ground is thinking this is definitely going in. Yeah. I mean, it reminded me of like an NFL kicker kicking the last point to win a game. Like, that's what it was. You just needed him to put it in. You just hit it so, like, he bananaed it round the wall in the bottom corner.
Do you not think it was, as well, it was a bit strange, that goal, because after the goal went in, wasn't there about 10 minutes of an injury?
Yeah, there was.
And the whole crowd was kind of waiting
enough,
for the, you know, chanting and...
I think it was one of their players. I think it was one of their players went down.
Yeah, it was.
But I remember they kicked the ball out, and I remember thinking, you should not have kicked the ball out there. You should have continued playing your attack. I know he's injured, but that was a bad result for them. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a relegation thing. We were fourth bottom, they were third bottom. So we had 11, they had 10. So I mean, that was a big result for us.
It was. It was crazy.
You know, funny enough, I just saw the previous game was the 2-1 defeat away at Wolves, which was on Sky, and Larson missed a penalty in that game.
Yeah, he did.
So he made up for that the next week.
The last time that we missed a penalty?
Yeah, the last time.
Unbelievable. I mean, surely nobody's got a record like that.
But to be fair, we've not had that many penalties.
Yeah, but still, I mean...
I had a run where Yori Gomez kept scoring penalties.
Yeah, we did. Well, he was top goal scorer, was he?
I think he's got like 7 or something.
Yeah, was he not top goal scorer in the Great Escape, yeah? I don't know, but...
No, it wasn't the Great Escape, yeah. It was the year after.
Was it the year after? But
yeah, it wasn't there. It was... Poirier signed him that.
Did he?
14-15, I think. Right. I could be wrong. Somebody's probably going to message being like...
Should have scored more as well. He missed a sitter against Newcastle.
You know, he's one of them funny players to watch where he always looked like he was going to lose the ball. Like, he always was dilly-dallying on it, but he never seemed to lose it.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I remember watching him for Wigan, and I used to think he was like, he used to get in behind it all. And he used to score a few
a
goals.
hat-trick for Wigan once.
Yeah, I'm sure he was getting booed.
It was a Blackburn.
He was getting booed before the game. And then he scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, he did. It was a perfect hat-trick as well, I'm sure. It was a header left foot, right foot.
I think you're right. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What else have we got on here? We've got a defeat. You want to touch on a defeat? That's
well, it's because that's all we know how to talk about these days.
But I remember
is defeats
going into this game. Firstly, we had a ridiculously large squad.
Yeah.
Our squad list on the back, I don't know if you can see them properly, is absolutely ridiculous how long it is.
Is that because 0809?
Yeah, that's when Roy Keane was like, somebody would ring him like, oh, so and so's on the transfer list. He's like, buy him, buy him, buy him. David Healy, you see, buy him, our player.
Oh, I like that signing. He came in the same time as Cisse as well. They signed in the same week, I think, and that was like, ooh, you know, something there. I like the David Healy signing. But I think Voronin scored for Liverpool that day. Torres and Voronin.
I remember Voronin played.
I think he scored.
Google it.
Do I have to Google it?
No, you don't.
I was going to say, I can't be bothered.
So, but going into that game, I mean, I suppose we picked this one because there was a lot of hope for this team at that point. You know, the players we hadn't quite signed Cisse yet.
No.
David Healy was also not there at this point.
That's what I'm saying. I think them two came in the same week.
Preca was still there.
Did we have Diouf? Didn't it?
Diouf was there.
Was Diouf there?
Yeah, he played.
Did he?
I'm sure he did.
Pritza was there.
Yeah. We didn't get rid of him for like another year.
Do we call him Pritza or Prica? I'll leave that one to you audience. Maybe you can have a look afterwards and give us a tweet and let us know what the answer is to that.
But back to this game. I mean, specific memories of it was being, I suppose, it was a hard start of the season. We had that year. We had Tottenham away coming up after that, so we needed to kind of get something off one of the games. And
won that game.
Went to Tottenham and won. That was a big win.
Richardson Cisse. Yeah, Cisse as well. Back post. I think that's where his song started, at Tottenham away.
Probably. It was a great song.
That was where, I love that song.
I still walk around the house singing it now.
So do I. Well, I think that I love Cisse because of that song.
I remember, were you there at the game he got sent off? Yeah, he got sent off against for QPR. I think we won the game like 3-1. It was under O'Neill. And when he got sent off, the whole of the, what was the noisy corner at the time, was his belting.
But I didn't know if that was taking the piss out of him or if that was being nice to the guy. I couldn't quite understand. I was singing it as well. I think he's well liked in some of the
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah. I think he wanted to certainly re-sign for that summer.
I don't think. I mean, they would have paid a lot of money for him. I think at the time, you probably would have been told.
They probably would have. I mean, they bought Bent instead, which you kind of argue against.
Well,
he should probably be on this as well.
Yeah, but it was certainly Djibril Cisse for me. Was certainly. I think he was one of the first big names to sign for Sunderland, wasn't he? Just to tell people we had Djibril Cisse.
I remember being excited. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm put Burnley down.
Sorry, I literally had a split second to decide which program.
This is Burnley in 06 or 07. I'm sure we've all remember that game.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting in the.
We were in the.
No, I was in the noisy corner. I was with.
Oh yeah, I was in the south.
No, that was
northeast corner. I was in.
That's still probably in my top 2 or 3 a game.
It's unbelievable that. I mean, I remember when Edwards had the ball. I remember somebody who was sitting next to me in the ground. I remember them saying, "Don't shoot," like sort of, just get it in, sort of get it into the box. And so don't shoot.
But he scored a screamer a couple of weeks earlier against Southampton. He
did. He scored a few. He's got one against Birmingham away. Scored a screamer.
So you
certainly hit them.
You look at that game. I mean, that's where that season was. I suppose it was a magic carpet ride. It was ridiculous. He came in, we were bottom, and were just phenomenal. I mean, how many?
I mean, that probably is for most Sunderland fans. I mean, certainly in recent years, because I mean. The Great Escapes, don't get us wrong, they were brilliant at the time, but they're not really an achievement. I think we've touched on this before. It's not an achievement. I mean, celebrating a Great Escape, obviously you're going to do it.
Celebrating and relegating the Mags as well as also.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We've done that twice.
Relegating your rivals, I mean, definitely, but...
And Borough, actually, relegated the Borough as well.
Yeah, well, we were at that game as well. I should have gotten that one.
What, 3-2?
Yeah.
That was a good win. But that's not when we relegated them. We went down the next year.
No, the Chelsea game.
Oh, the Chelsea game. We didn't relegate Borough against Chelsea.
We did. We relegated Borough and Newcastle.
Oh, I thought you... Right, okay, I got confused there.
You're thinking about the other Chelsea game, aren't you?
Yeah, the 3-2. Right, okay. I got
that was 3-2 as well, but it was to Chelsea. And Nelka was unbelievable.
He got golden boot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He was unplayable. Absolutely brilliant.
You know what's funny, as a slight aside, is he is one of the best players I've seen at the stadium line.
Oh, definitely.
And he played once in this defensive midfield. The game they beat were 4-2 at the stadium line. Richardson and Bardsley scored. I can't remember who scored for them. But Anelka played CDM and he was unbelievable.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
I've always loved watching John Terry as well.
I've said this with you. He's one of my most favourite players to watch live.
Oh, unbelievable.
He was like unplayable. I mean, I think I actually made an argument the other night in the pub when I was talking to a couple of lads, and a few of them laughed at us when I said it, but I knew there was logic behind it. But I kind of said, I would half think about taking JT to the World Cup. Just
oh my god.
See, that's the reaction.
Why would you take?
Just because of, I mean, Aston Villa. If you look at Aston Villa's team right now,
money at this,
no, I don't, because I didn't say that word. Right? If you look at Aston Villa's team now, right? I'm sorry, but they're not really that good, are they? They're all right. They've got some.
Dean Alley, they're spending an absolute shit ton of money.
Yeah, but they're not like. If you look at Wolves, right?
Why would you take John Terry? He's like 36.
Because no, but I'm seeing like
the experience of winning international.
No, just because I think you'll drill it into them, you know.
Drill what into them? He's had like 20 years to drill it into them and he hasn't done it. What's he drilled into them?
He's a champion. He was not for England.
The champion at what? Sleeping with his teammates? Wives?
But that's not a reason to not bring him to the world. That's a good reason to bring him, because he won't be shagging anybody else back in England. So yeah, but no, I would. I mean, I think I've made this point to you before, and you'll have to, as I've said, something like that. I mean, didn't Beckham go to the World Cup? Is not a player. He just went as a presence.
What?
Like, you know, just.
Do you want him as a coach? Are you want him to play or be a coach?
I want him to be a player coach. I want him to be there to help the players.
Is he not retired?
Yeah, but you come up with national retirement. People do it all the time. I think he's done it before.
He's probably going to retire at the end of the season.
Yeah, but if somebody says to him, GT, come to the World Cup, you probably won't play, but just come, help the lads. I mean, we're not even talking about Solomon anymore, to be fair, but you know what I mean? Like.
So what, you're going to bring JT, Defoe, Crouch?
No, I wouldn't bring. In fact, Peter Crouch. Oh. Well, it's something that I'd probably go towards Andy Carroll, because I think they're the same kind of player. I think Carroll's better than Crouch. I'd take Andy Carroll over Peter Crouch. I would bring a player like that, but I wouldn't take.
Do you know what it is? You said that you wanted to talk about the World Cup as well, and there you are. That's all he does was sit here at home, and I'm talking about what I'm going to have for tea, and he's like, nah, the World Cup, like, we should definitely bring so-and-so.
You know, if any of my mates are watching this, they're going to laugh as well, because I always bring the World Cup.
It's all he talks about. He's like, we're going to win the World Cup. And I was like, Niall, man, we've got Gareth Southgate.
The thing is, I live and work abroad for the majority of the year, and I work with people from all sorts of countries. And, you know, they always have a little dig in at England. Always, like the Germans and even the Dutch. And they've never even won a World Cup. They've won one major tournament in the history. So, you know, they like a sly little dig in. My friend Roland, who I worked with last year, he used to always say it. You know, well, England have never, you know, England always fail and all this. And I'm like, but we've got to a final. We got to a final in 2010.
Are you finished? Nobody cares. People are watching this for Sunderland stuff. Right. We should probably talk a little bit about last weekend's game. So we didn't really cover it on the podcast this week because we had George and Keith Downey in.
That was a brilliant listen, by the way.
Thanks. I mean, I didn't really say much. It was probably, I had a few people text us like, oh, it's the best pod you've had in a while. I was like, because I wasn't speaking on it mainly.
Yeah, but it was really insightful by them too. The pair of them were excellent. The way I really enjoyed it. It went on for longer than what I thought it was going to. Like
yeah, well, when you were going to keep it dragging on.
Yeah, it was good.
But we didn't really talk about the game. So I was there, and
do I have to talk about the game?
The first yes.
They want to watch me rant about the World Cup, man. They don't want to hear
the first half. We did all right. I think everyone would agree. It was all right. I was reasonably, I would say, impressed that we were keeping Preston at bay. There wasn't really much in the game. I thought it had a 1-goal game written all over it.
Yeah, I wasn't at the game. But, I mean, all the coverage and everything I watched, I was listening to on the radio when I had Gillette Saturday on. And Alan McInally was watching our game, and he was saying how sad it was to see such a big club and a good club with empty seats and this, that and the other. And he said at half time, he said Sunderland did well to get in. They've done all right. Maybe they can nick a win. But, you know, it's just typical Sunderland, isn't it? The defence is just not good enough.
Well, I sort of wanted, that's where I was going to go to. Second half.
Yeah.
I actually thought Kone had a good game, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think he's been one of our better players the last few weeks. He certainly, I don't think he's down tools as much as he maybe did last year.
He's probably realised that...
He's never going to get a move. We're going to be stuck with him next year.
Well, yeah.
We're going to have to either A, get rid of him for free, or B, he's going to have to play, because we've got no other options.
You know, I'm a firm believer that somebody can't turn rubbish overnight. I am a firm believer of that.
It's not a case of that, though. It's a case of he's had somebody with him who could tell him what to do, and he's all language.
But he had that bit of class. I mean, the goal he scored against Everton, the first one, was brilliant. I mean, I couldn't imagine him putting a finish like that together now.
He scored a good goal against Palace last year, didn't he? Definitely scored.
Away from home.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Irrespective of the point, though, we're conceded straight after half time. I don't really. The goal was embarrassing, but that's.
Both goals were identical as well.
I know, I can't really bother to talk about the goals. But what I'm really angry about is Clark Salter with this monstrosity of a second yellow. I mean, he doesn't just pull him down, he like hugs him down.
Do you know...
Why?
The thing is, this has been touched on with the Roker Report a few times. I've got no idea why he's playing. I mean, I've got no idea. Put a young'un in, put someone in who's going to be at the club.
He's a young'un, but he's not our young'un.
Yeah, but he's not ours, that's what I mean. Yeah. He shouldn't be playing.
I think that's where I'm at as a fan now, because I'm getting frustrated with seeing, you know, Fletcher's been given game time. Does he deserve it?
No.
Why? Why aren't they giving Asoro a chance playing up front by himself? Well, I've said it a million times. I think he can play there by himself. He wins headers. I know that's our main thing.
This is Connor's main thing, by the way. If somebody wins headers, he's done. That's it. He loves
wins headers, runs the channels, bit of pace, and can dribble past players. His finish, I don't think, is not necessarily there, but that comes with confidence.
No, the thing is with him is he's so, you know, he is still young, very young, 18-year-old, and the thing is, you don't want to damage the lad. If you're playing him up front, week in, week out, right, in the sorry state the club's in.
I've seen him play it at times. I've seen him play it with somebody, and I think.
Well, the thing is, yeah, maybe we do have to be selfish and think, well, it might ruin your career, but we've got no other choice.
It's not going to ruin his career, because he's proven he can play at this level. We're not throwing him in because he's played well for the under-23s. He's proven himself in the first team over the last, you know, since Colton's game.
He scored 2 goals for Sweden, if anybody didn't know, earlier today or tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. Yesterday?
Not tomorrow.
Yeah, not tomorrow.
You're
predicting the future
then.
Yeah.
But
yesterday.
Asoro, for me, hasn't. He's proven himself, but yet we're giving Madja and Fletcher chances, and neither of them have impressed me. I mean, I know Madja's a young lad, and I think next year he'll blossom far more in League One. But at the minute, I think we've only got one option up front, and it's Asoro. Yeah. And Plonk with him. Plonk, get McGeady in, right? He's creative. He's a spark. I know he's been shit, but they've all been shit. So give him a chance to sort of do what he does. He can score goals, he can assist, he can be creative. Pair him with Asoro, and then see where you go. I mean, they've got what, 8 games left.
I'm not gonna. Coleman's a man, not against him, 100% behind him, like him, really like him. But there must be something more that we don't know about that, because I mean, I questioned that. I mean, I haven't questioned him that often, to be honest, since he's took over, but I questioned that. It was his former club. He's already played and scored against them this season. He had to play that game. He had to play the number 10 role for me.
I would have played.
Yeah, he had to play. When I seen the starting lineup, I was disappointed. I think something's going on behind the scenes there. It's got to be. You know, we're not scoring goals, like you've just said.
I honestly think that there must be some beef between them.
There's got to be. I just don't understand that game as well. Like I say, it deep earlier in the season, he was brilliant that game. Scored the goal, did the lap of the pitch. Like,
he did well under Grayson, but I suppose that's what a lot of people said. He's a Grayson player.
Well, yeah, because Grayson just let him do what he wanted, didn't he? Just said play a football. If you want to take on 6 players, do it. If you lose the ball, you lose the ball, but try better next time. This, that, and the other.
I suppose you should do that with, in our position, would it have worked maybe?
Well, yeah.
Have we got any more to add on the current team? Is there anything you want to get off your chest?
Well,
apart from your heart. There we are. There it is.
He's probably been planning that the whole time. Yeah, editing that out. That's getting edited out.
The final thing that I was really going to touch on, it's back to our programmes thing, is which of the Man City wins, we've got one here. This is the He Who Shall Not Be Named goal, I think.
The He Who Shall Not Be Named goal?
Yeah, Adam Johnson.
Oh, he who. There could be 3 people on it, to be honest, yeah.
Great
was
goal.
he never number? Oh, he was never number 8, was he?
No. It was a great goal that day, but which one was the favourite of all the 4 wins we had against them?
I mean, again, hold my hands up, wasn't at the G-Dog 1 game. Because it was New Year's Day though, so I've got a little bit more of an excuse for that.
That was New Year's Day, so that's funny, that. Is that the G-Dom one? Oh, that's the
That's
G-Dom
the
one.
G-Dom 1.
That's the G-Dom one. The next year. Well, I'm sure we'll play them next year on like New Year's Day.
Yeah, it was around Christmas time.
Yeah.
But I was actually at work that time. That's why I missed that.
Oh, yes.
I'd given me season ticket up.
G-Dom one. That is the best one. It is the best one.
Yeah.
G-Dom one.
Well, of course. I mean, I watched that in the house. Like,
He was so far offside. He was literally like 4 foot offside. He took it round the keeper. And then
I was, but it was just. I bet in the ground as well. That was slow motion.
It was. It was the whole game. You know, like they were battering, absolutely battering on it.
The thing is, what I loved about that was Martin O'Neill come out and he was like, because they were going to take the corner.
Go.
And he was like, you can score a goal, yeah.
Go. And then obviously the whole crowd's like, go on. Another one of them where everyone sort of stayed till the end. It was literally just ticked on like the 96th minute or whatever it was. And
if you go through the 10-year stint in the Premier League, just gone, that's got to be up there, top 5 easy. I mean, I was, like I say, I wasn't there, but when I remember the feeling, because we got at that day.
We did. We got absolutely killed.
Man, at that day. But that was absolutely brilliant. That's got to be. I mean, even the one before was a last minute goal as well. Darren Bent was a penalty.
But we played alright that day. But then the year before they scored a last minute goal. Again, He Who Shall Not Be Named. Bent one into the top corner.
What a goal that was as well. It was a hell of a finish.
I think the G-Don won. To be fair, if we're going to put also in there, like best games, the Tottenham 3-1 win was unbelievable. Should have won like 8-1.
Because that should be our game.
Well, we should have won 4-1 at least because Ferdinand had one disallowed. Well, Bent missed 2 penalties and he missed 2 penalties.
2 penalties he missed and scored one. Yeah,
unbelievable. 3 penalties in one game.
We murdered them that day.
Oh, pummeled them.
But the weirdest thing about that is Crouch scored to make it 2-1.
That goal shouldn't have counted.
That was a foul, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jumped on the back.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it was like, oh no, how can we throw this away? It would have been so good. That's probably the best Sunderland performance I think I've ever seen. We were absolutely unbelievable that day.
We were great.
And that goal, let's not miss that goal. The 3rd goal.
Unbelievable.
Can we just have a second while I think about that goal? That was
sideways volley. He was 34 as well at the time. Unbelievable.
That was
how good must he have been when he was at Borough like 10 years ago?
Well, he was awesome. I mean, we always knew. I mean, that's why when he went to
I saw highlights of the League Cup final the other day, and he got the assist on the goal. One of the goals.
Did he not slip? Did he slip for the penalty?
Yeah, he did.
Was that him?
Yeah, he scored.
Was it Mendieta? I always get the 2 mixed up.
No, it was Endon. He slipped. Yeah, he slipped and he put it down the middle.
But if you hit the ball with 2 feet, it shouldn't count.
No, he didn't. He only hit it 1.
Did he? Okay. Alright.
Just watch it in your own time, rather than talk about Borough.
Sorry.
Okay, well, I've got nothing much else to add. I don't know when Roker Rapport TV will be out next week.
You're not going to touch on the protest or something like that? Shouldn't we protest?
Not really. I'll just open a can of worms. Plus, who am I to talk about protests?
Well, I think something needs done. I know Red and White Army had a meeting the other night, didn't
they? So we are going to talk about the protests.
Yeah. Well, this on the World Cup.
This is stretching to 30 minutes.
Alright, yeah, but you're going to edit loads out.
Okay. So I had a technical glitch. So therefore, Niall's thing about the protest didn't go in, which is fine because I didn't want to talk about it. So we'll record this little segment at the end just to say, firstly, follow her on Twitter. I'm at Connor Bromley. Niall is...
at Niall_Bromley.
Oh, could you not get Niall Bromley?
Nah, couldn't get it.
Bastards.
I know, but I don't know how because I don't think there's any other Niall Bromleys in there.
Of course there is. That's why you couldn't get it.
Okay. Anyway. I don't think I tried to get
follow Roker Rapport, not Rapport. We're Rapport. Sites Report.
Yeah.
Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, like them on Facebook. Like the articles, there's loads going up there. I've not really been writing that much recently, but you might see my stuff out there in the future. And I even had an article the other week.
I did. If anyone hasn't seen that, it's about Stefan Sessegnon. Give it a read. It's well, I hope it's quite interesting.
That should be that. So don't know when Roker Rapport TV will be back. Probably next week at some point, but I'll have to confer with James. If not, you might be left for this ugly bastard. So
exactly.
That's that.
We should do a little vote after this to see who they think is the better little mom.
I can't be bothered with that. 'Cause
Right.
when I lose, I'll be upset.
Thank you.
See you.